friends! Welcome back to Seeking Out Sunshine and another weekly WIPS video. My name is Ashley if you are new here, and I am so glad that you are here. Okay, so today's weekly WIP video is going to look a little bit different because I actually already filmed my weekly WIP video, went to edit it, and the whole first 3/4 of the video had absolutely no sound. So bummer. I was so sad because it actually was a great video in my opinion. Like, it went so smoothly and I liked how things turned out. But that's life sometimes, and I'm trying to roll with the punches and just take a deep breath and say, how can I rectify some of this? So first of all, thank you for giving me some grace. If you stay with me throughout this video, I really appreciate that. And that's just part of this process of trying to create and make videos. There's going to be some bumps along the way. So this was definitely a bump for me, but we're going to get through it. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go through what I've been doing this week in my coloring pages as normal, and then kind of talk about what I did in the video. And then obviously I can't do that same demonstration because I've already used that page, but I'll go ahead and do another 1 or 2 demonstrations. But I am going to probably fast forward some of the work just so this video doesn't get super long. The other thing at the end, we will do our strokes of sunshine like normal. But one thing I talked about in the previous filming was I think I'm going to move that to a separate video just so these weekly WIP videos don't get too long. And I have started to feel like they are something, they like are a totally different subject line, kind of like a different type of video. I love them so much, and I love that process so much that I felt myself either rushing on the weekly WIP part or rushing on the Rays of Sunshine part. So I want to give both my love and attention for all of you so that I'm like putting my very best out there and not hustling through it. And I think that I'm just going to kind of separate them for now and see how it goes. If you have feelings on that, I'd love to hear them because obviously I am trying to create a space for all of you, but let me know in the comments. Otherwise, let's get into what I worked on at my art desk this week. Okay, so let's go through what I worked on this week. I actually feel like I got quite a lot accomplished. I was able to, excuse me, do a lot of coloring in the car. We had a soccer tournament this weekend, and so a lot of travel time. But a couple weeks ago, I had started, if you haven't seen my coloring with makeup video, I did some backgrounds with makeup, and it just kind of inspired me to try doing more than just the backgrounds with makeup. So I completed these 2 pages this week and did more detail work with like the gel pens and stuff on top, but everything is completely based in makeup. So that was a lot of fun. Again, if you haven't seen that video, go check that out. And then another page that I based completely in makeup was this page, and I was able to finish it as well. There's a little bit of, you know, pencil and stuff on top and gel pen and language gel pens, but I'll go into more detail on these in my end of the month completed pages. But a lot of fun. I love how my weekly WIPs are turning at my weekly WIP videos, and the techniques that I'm trying, oh my goodness guys, excuse me, are like inspiring me as I go into that next week to just play so much more. So that was a lot of fun. And then in last week's video, I worked with my Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2s, and that inspired me to keep playing with those. And so I based this page in my Neocolor 2s, but I need to go back and do a second layer of some things on top and some other mediums to finish off the page. And then I also was able to start this page. So lots of fun with my Neocolor 2s. Looking forward to completing those pages. And all of those pages were in Nightfall. So this kind of has been a book I've just been love bombing, as Maya says at Colored by Maya. So super fun. And it was just easy that I could take 1 or 2 books with me when I left and not my whole collection. And then when I had my makeup out, I went ahead and just based this page. I kind of wanted to see how the makeup would work on more of like the Amazon paper, and it's mermaid, so I thought let's get another mermaid page started. So did base that and work on kind of blending some of those shades together, and we'll go back and hopefully finish this page maybe in the next week or two. And then last week with all of you, I started this page. So if you remember, this was just a blank background, and I created the sun so it would be kind of behind her. And I did the first layer of the sun with all of you, and then off camera I did a second layer and then did the pink sky. So this page is not done. I have some more things that I need to do to it, but I really love how it's currently turning out and look forward to completing that one as well. So that is what was at my art desk, so to speak, this week, and what I worked on and what I have been inspired by to work on with all of you this week is I got some new Ganzai Tambi watercolors for Mother's Day, and I got the Cosmic set and the Aurora set. And if you haven't seen it yet, I did do a complete swatch video where I swatch these with you guys and we talk about them and my first impressions. So go check that out if you haven't seen it yet. But the first time I attempted to do this video, I had gone through and found a fun Camilla page to do with you guys, and I was like, I loved it because it had all of the spaces for me to test every single color out, and I thought it would be such a fun background for this little dragon. So obviously that video did not work because I had no sound, but I wanted to show you how it turned out and kind of what the colors and the paints and the pigments look like when they are dried on a page. And I'm going to go ahead and pop in that video now, at least so you can see kind of that process. And then I'll come back and we can actually do a little bit of painting together. I have a couple other pages picked out just so you can see how the process that I've been using worked on this page. In my swatching video, I do a little bit of a different process. So I take the pigment directly from the palette, versus in this page, I put the pigment on a paint plate first and then moved it to the page and used more water. I also wet down the paper first, and I think that helped the granulating elements of the paint work a little bit better, and they weren't as opaque. And because when they are more opaque, you don't see the granulating effect. So it's just, you know, things I'm learning with a new medium. And yeah, so I'll go ahead and pop a little bit of that video in for you here, and then I'll come back and we will do some painting together. Okay, so hopefully that gave you a little bit of an idea of the process that I did on the dragon page. We're going to go ahead and go into another Camilla de Erica book. This is Pop Manga Mermaids and Other Sea Creatures. Her paper is fantastic for watercolors, so if you're looking for a book to try this out in, I would definitely suggest one of her books. And we're going to go ahead and start with the Aurora set first. And the page that I picked out is this cute little seahorse page because there are 5 seahorses. So it makes it a little bit easier to test out each of these colors. I'm going to go ahead and spray these paints. I think it's crazy how they all almost look brown in the palette. They are not on the paper. And then I just have a glass plate that I'm going to transfer the pigment onto before transferring it onto the seahorses. Okay. So we're just going to start with the first one here. This is Aurora Red. And I'm putting that directly on the paint plate. And then I'm going to take, one second, and then I'm going to take a brush and just get it wet with water. And I'm going to directly put the water on the page. Because in my swatch video, if you watch that, I don't do this method. But I saw where, when there was like more water in the brush, how the granulating effect worked a little bit better. So you definitely want a paper that's going to be able to take water for this method. See how it just kind of takes it out and rolls with it? And it just works better in my opinion. And maybe I just was using too much of the paint and I need to work on my skills that way. But I definitely felt like this method gave me way better color payoff than in my swatching video. And my swatches turned out good. It's just, I think this method helps the paint turn out a little bit better. All right, and I can go into some of these smaller parts later on, even with a different medium. All right, so that is Aurora Red. Next, we'll go in with Aurora, let's see, trying to maybe separate some of the colors out a little bit. We'll do Aurora Blue for this next one. Get the pigment off this brush. Again, when I put this color on the plate, if you guys can see that, it just looks like it's brown, but the minute it hits the water, it's amazing what happens. All right, we'll come over to this little friend here and get some water down. I mean, this brush is a brush that holds a lot of water. So definitely know your brush a little bit. Kind of play with that before you get it on the page, just so you know how much water you're adding. I did not have any bleed through either with the other Camilla de Erica book. It was great. It performed really well. So yeah, I'm trying to think of all the things that I talked about in my first weekly WIP video, guys. I even thought about trying to do a voiceover, and then I was like, yeah, this isn't going to work. And I'm going to be really annoyed by my hand gestures and everything else. And I just need to refilm it. So here we are. And I am so grateful for you being here and hanging with me through this little hiccup this little mountain I have to climb this week. Do you guys have a mountain that you're climbing, or a way that the universe has tested you a little bit, or tried your patience or your little heartstrings? This is your sign that you can climb it, man. Just put one foot in front of the other and you're gonna get there. We just have those moments sometimes. Okay, so that was Aurora Blue. Then let's go in with Aurora Violet. I'm gonna get another side of the plate ready. We'll see how this goes. Get our little friend based with water here. There's something so freeing about her illustrations. Some books I just like overthink. What am I going to do? And I just feel like she invites you just to play in her books. And that's kind of exactly what I need right now. Because I get in these moments where I overthink the process. I overthink what I should create or what I should do or how the outcome should look. And I love how inviting her illustrations are, and her art is, just to play, just to be free. I think that's a pretty big gift, to be able to do that for people. You know, as an artist yourself, sometimes we're intimidated, you know, by people who have these amazing, beautiful gifts. And she creates a space, for me at least, that just invites me to play and be me. It's okay, we will fix that when we do the water. So this is the Aurora Violet, and it has blue granulating colors. I have no idea what I'm going to do for the back of this, the background of this page yet, but hopefully something fun and exciting. This will be interesting, getting in this little crevice, guys, and see what it does to any of the pages. That's okay, we will figure that out too. So again, I'm not worrying about like any type of shading with the watercolors or anything like that. I would like to work on that with these and kind of see how I can manipulate them and work more on that in the future. But right now, these, like I said, are new, and I'm just kind of figuring out how they work and the best books for me to use them in, and go from there. So I don't have water on this side, I just noticed. So that will maybe be good for us to see how each side looks differently, because I put water on this part of the seahorse and not this one. So we might get a little bit of a different color payoff here. We'll have to see. Okay. Let's do Aurora Orange next. On this little friend here. And again, these are all in the same set. The dragon page that you saw earlier, that is both sets combined. So you just have a reference point there. This would be one full set that you would get. And the other page that we're going to do will be the other set. We have a little bit too much water, let's see. And this is Aurora Orange. It is kind of like a turquoisey green. I know it doesn't look like it right now, but when it dries, it's like a turquoisey green with hints of orange. I wonder what like an acrylic marker background would look like. with these granulating, like if it would make these really pop off. Maybe something I consider. It's a lot of background to color with an acrylic marker, but we'll see. If you guys have ideas of what I should do for the background, let me know. Okay, so that is Aurora Orange. And then the last one we have is Aurora Pink, right? Violet, blue, red, yeah, Aurora Pink. This is probably why I should have just gone in order on the comments. You do get a ton of product. I am, like, you don't need a whole lot to make this work. So this palette is, I mean, significantly, it's got a ton of pigment and color in the pan. It's going to last you a really long time. So for the price, I think one was like $16.99 and one was $19.99. I was able to get them on a deal, and they came in a set. I don't know if that is still available. I can look and see if it is. I will try to link that in the comments. All right, let's make this little seahorse Aurora Pink. And then we'll let this page dry. So yeah, other than trying to deal with the complications from this week's video, let's see, what have I been doing this week? So we traveled for soccer, and so we had some time in the car, and I obviously did some coloring there. But other than that, I did not really color a whole lot, so I guess I'm thankful for the 9 hours we had in the car that I could color. I got a little bit here and there. I think that's one nice thing about having WIPS is that it doesn't bother me to have WIPS, because then I can think about, okay, what page has something? I've got 15 minutes here. What's something I can quickly do? Or, you know, I'm waiting on the kids at a practice or something. I've got this amount of time. What's something I can do? So I kind of like having WIPS. It's also convenient for me to be like, what book has something in it that I could take with me easily, that I could just grab, you know, a set of pens or colored pencils or markers or something, because I am somebody who likes to use lots of different mediums on my pages, so I can't obviously take everything with me, but I like that. Just like how I like took the book and love bombed it with the makeup, or took the book and love bombed it with the Neocolor twos. That's just kind of a fun, or not a fun, but a convenient thing to have some different options to do. Okay, I'm going to set this aside, and we're going to get the other book out. All right, so this one is another one of Camilla's books, and we are going to play with these octopus legs. So let me clean my plate, and I will be right back. Okay, so let's do a little testing on this page with the Cosmic set. I'm just going to I'm just going to color each octopus leg with one color and not worry about like the suckers or anything on the legs, because I'll probably go on top of those with some acrylic markers or pens or gel pens or something to make them stand out. So again, just getting the base. This is just a base color to start with. So actually, let me get the paint on the paper. So this first one is Cosmic Red. Now put the water on. So yeah, other than soccer, which soccer was a lot of our weekend, it was a lot of fun though. I love seeing my kids do the things that bring them so much joy. And my son has played soccer since he was very young, and it just continues to be something that brings him an immense amount of joy. But he had 2 great games this past weekend where we had to travel to, and was able to score 3 goals and have 3 assists, and just He left the fields happy with how he played too, and that's always, I always love it when they can walk off the field and just know I did my best, and that is enough. Even in the moments where we don't score, you know, and everything, even in the moments where we don't win, I think that's been something we've really worked hard on the last few years with him as an athlete, is that we can still give our best, and it doesn't mean we win. And he has really come a long way with that, and it's allowed him the grace and the freedom to be able to look at a disappointment and still see the good, for not only himself but his teammates. And he's really come a long way in that maturity, and it's helped him become a better athlete, just because as you get older, there's so much more to being a competitive athlete than just competing, right? And we have worked a lot. When we get in the car, it's usually, tell me what you're proud of. No matter whether he wins or he loses, it is what happened today that you're proud of, and then we share things that we are proud of him for. And I will tell you, as a parent, for me, if I see good sportsmanship on that field from him, especially like say he collides with an opponent and that opponent goes down, and he's the first one given a hand and trying to get him up and, you know, apologizing or whatever, that speaks so much more to me than any goal he could make. Because at the end of the day, my biggest goal as his mom is that he's a good human. The success and everything else will come from that. I just don't believe that if you are a good human, you won't have beauty and success in your life. But we have enough in our world right now that is not happy and joyful, that we just need to be good humans, right? We just need to love each other more and look out for each other more. So yeah, I always tell him, I will be most proud of the person you are and how you rally and cheer on your teammates, and even the other team. And then all the other is a bonus, right? And it's super fun to watch, but it doesn't mean anything if we aren't a good person in the process. But he did have some really great games, and his teammates did. Unfortunately, we had 2 team members get injured this weekend, and that was awful to watch, just because my son himself has had numerous injuries. We've had 3 broken wrists and a broken collarbone throughout his soccer years, and they've all happened within like the last 4 years as he's gotten older, and things just get a little bit more, you know, aggressive and everything. But okay, so that was Cosmic Red, guys. We're going to do Cosmic Olive here. But yeah, I love that he has found something that brings him joy. Both of my kids do not do anything that my husband or I did growing up, and it's actually been really fun. I kind of love that. I kind of love that they have their own unique things that make them them. And really, they don't have anything of the same. My oldest obviously does. Well, actually, that's not true. My oldest has soccer, and then both of my kids are amazing singers, and he is in the choir, and my house is usually a concert between my 2 children. And their song choices would be different. My youngest is very much into theater. If you've been here for a little while, you know that. And so we sing a lot of musicals. And my oldest really he's got like an eclectic love of music and loves all genres really, and all generational music. He's always impressing my parents he'll go over there and be singing songs from when they grew up, and my dad just loves it. But yeah, so they both definitely are singers. And then I would say that my youngest has recently got into running and loves to run. And so my oldest, being a soccer player, has to do lots of running. So that is something that they have been enjoying together, is going for some runs. And I love that he takes his younger brother with him to do that. But otherwise, they're just completely different little human beings. All right, next we're going to do Cosmic Green. So this was, again, Cosmic Red, Cosmic Olive, and now we'll do Cosmic Green. So my youngest is looking forward to his brother being home for the summer from school so that they can do some running for sure. But yeah, so my little one, and he's not so little anymore. He's going to be in junior high next year, but he'll always be my baby. If you're a mama, you understand that. But my little one, he is very big into theater, and he does like aerial silks and all the things, and loves that, and just is. Never, if you would have told me when he was 5 that would be what he would do, I wouldn't have believed you, because he was so shy and did not really want to talk to people. So different than my oldest. My oldest is like he tells me, Mom, I'm an extroverted extrovert. He is just a social butterfly. And so I would have expected it from him, but ironically, do not put him on a stage. Like, he does okay with like his choir performances and stuff, but he does not want the limelight in that manner. He did sing a solo his 8th grade year, which was amazing that he got up there and was so brave to do that. And he did phenomenal, but he does not have a desire to be on the stage like his brother. But my little one, man, he just comes alive on that stage. It's just his happy place and loves it. And I think that is so important. Like, I would love to hear where do your kids find home? Like, what is their home, or have they discovered it yet? You know, and if they haven't, as a parent, don't stop helping them try to navigate that process. Like, it's out there. And it's probably something you don't think. But once they find it, I mean, our kids tell us, you know, with their actions and with their spirits, if they've found that, if they are, their happiness, right? You know when they found their people, when they found their home. In fact, 3 weeks into my little one going to his first, doing his first production with theater, I will never forget his face when he came home that night, and he looked at me and said, Mom, I found my people. And I was just like, oh, buddy, I'm so happy for you. Like, I wanted to cry, because, like, do you remember a moment in your life when you just were like, these are my people? Like, these people see me and love all of me authentically. And that is like how I felt like he spoke. He was just like, Mom, I found my people. Like, people who get who I am, who I don't have to, you know, change for. And he is such a fun spirit. And I love that he has, like, not changed any of that. He's so goofy and fun and loves life to the fullest. And sometimes, unfortunately, I think when kids get older and have influences outside, you know, from school or sports or whatever, some of those things that make us special and unique actually get turned off because we're worried about what other people think. And he has not turned his off. And I don't know if it's because we homeschool with him. I don't know. There's times where I think it is that, but he has just been such a beautiful example to me of being brave and taking up my space and shining only as I can. And that doesn't mean that we try to outshine other people, but that we are just, you know, being who we are in every space that we enter. And if it's a space that we cannot be who we were created to be, man, maybe we shouldn't be there, guys. Like, maybe this week, ask yourself, are you in spaces that allow you to shine as you are? Because I really encourage my kids to find friends that allow them to shine and encourage them to shine, and I really encourage them to make sure they're doing the same for their friends. Like, we celebrate our friends' victories. We celebrate our friends' wins. Oops, that's okay. We celebrate when they get something that we don't. Because I hope that they have people showing up in their lives when they get the big wins. And I don't mean wins like games. I mean like life wins, right? Like, and I hope we have people showing up when life is hard. And those are what you want for your friendships. And so I hope that you are reflecting on your life all the time and asking yourself, am I showing up in spaces that allow me to shine? Or am I showing up in spaces that try to dim me, that try to put me in a box, that try to tell me I'm, you know, too much or this or that? Like, you're not friend. You're just not in the right space. And you don't have to continue. Like, you can have a boundary. You don't have to continue to be in those spaces. So, wow. Wasn't expecting to go there. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. But yeah, I really believe in that. And especially as women, man, we need to be building each other up. We need to have each other's backs. And we need to teach our young people that. We need to teach our young people to have that grace and to have that confidence, right? Like, there's nothing that they need to change, and there's nothing that they need to feel inferior to because somebody else is good at something or shines. It doesn't determine their outcome. And that took me so long to figure out. And now that I just want to shout it from the rooftops and help other people with that same thing. So there you have it. But yeah, that's a little bit more about my kids. When we were, fortunately, when we went down to the soccer games, we got to stay at my in-laws' house. And they live on a lake, so the boys got to do all their favorite things with Grandma and Grandpa. They got to go fishing, and they got to go kayaking, and my youngest went out kayaking one morning with my husband and Grandma, and when they came back, he was soaking wet. He's like, well, I fell out of my kayak today. The water's still a little bit cold this time of year, but he did really good. But the ironic thing was, my husband said they had just been talking about the Titanic, and I don't even know what spurred that on, but they got a good laugh out of it because he had to climb onto my husband's kayak, and he was like, thanks for being better than Rose, Dad. Thanks for letting me on your door. But yeah, so he flipped the kayak. He was more worried about, he had just seen a water snake, probably 10 minutes prior. So he was freaking out about that a little bit, which I don't blame him. That is one of the reasons I will not swim in lakes, because I can't see the bottom. I'm not going to get into water that I cannot see the bottom of. No, thank you. But I like to go out and kayak on the lake and stuff. It's so peaceful. And I love sitting on their dock and everything. I actually took one of my coloring books outside and just sat at the lake out there, and it was just so quiet and peaceful, and they absolutely loved it. But yeah, he totally fell in the lake this week, and we got a good chuckle out of it. All right, so that kind of gives you an idea of the colors from the Cosmic set. So I'll go through them again. So this was Cosmic Red. This is Cosmic Olive, Cosmic Green, Cosmic Blue, and Cosmic Violet. So they're still kind of drying to see the granulating effect. So hopefully here in a little bit, it'll look a little bit better. Let me pull the seahorses back over. So this kind of shows you where our seahorses are. And some of them, like this one, didn't give me as much granulating as the dragon. So I think a lot of it is just figuring out the ratio of how much water. So let me see. So this is the same color as this one, which is crazy. So you kind of almost have to be prepared for, you're not quite sure what you're going to get. And this is why I think these colors will be so awesome for backgrounds and stuff. I think I probably didn't use as much water for this. That would be my guess. But same for kind of all of them. I don't know. I don't know if it's the paper. It'll be interesting to maybe do some more in this book to see. This is one of her like earlier books, I believe. The paper feels the same, but I'm not a paper expert, guys. So if you're looking for that, that's not probably a gift I have right now. But yeah, so we'll see. I do love how this little background came out. I'm excited to play with this one. I think this will be fun to go on top with some other mediums. But the biggest thing is I wanted you guys to see just the colors of those paints and how they went down. How I did them a little bit differently than my swatch video. If you have not seen that video, that one is up on my channel. You should go check it out. It's under my playlist Sunshine Swatches, and it's Ganzai Tambi. I go and do a whole like swatching. I do the swatching, I do everything and talk about my first impressions and stuff, so you should check that out. But I am looking forward to continuing to play with these paints and kind of seeing if I can get to better understand them and see how I can use them in my coloring pages. I definitely think it is an awesome amount of product for the price. I think they're really, really fun. You get a different payoff than any other watercolor I've tried. Again, I'm not a watercolor expert, but from the watercolors that I have tried and experienced, I think that they are awesome. I think that they will be so fun. I can see me going on top with some of my metallic watercolors on top of these, and that will be a lot of fun as well. So I'm gonna stop here for now. The next little part of the video will be my rays of sunshine, but again, like I said, I think I'm going to start doing that in a separate video. I think these videos are just getting a little bit too long, and I don't want to sell either part short. I think at the beginning it was great to have everything kind of in one cohesive video, but I think as time has gone on and I'm evolving as a creator, I just think that they're separate things. So I hope that you will join me in those videos as well. My goal is to have those up weekly. I think the series is going to be called Let Your Light Shine. And we're just going to work on helping each other be the brightest lights in this world that we can be throughout that creative process of art journaling and just reflection. And I hope you will join me for that series. But otherwise, I'm going to let you go for now. I am sending you all my love and sunshine. I hope you have a beautiful week and an amazing week ahead of creativity. Bye for now. Okay, so we are going to pull another card from Spirit Junkie this week for our mindful time. And if you are new here, how this works is I pull an affirmation card. These cards are by Gabrielle Bernstein. She has like 3 different sets. I have all of them. I love them. They're beautiful. The artwork is actually by Michaela Ezra. But anyway, I kind of go through and wait till something flies out at me, and then that's the card I use. So our card this week is Owning My Power Inspires Others to Do the Same. I am not afraid to shine. And this actually could not be more perfect for this entire channel, because my whole thing is about believing that we all can help one another shine our brightest. Couple sayings that I have: be brave, take up your space, and shine only as you can in this world. And the other one that I tell my kids is, you would never walk outside at night and look up into the star-filled sky and say there's just not enough room for that star. There is enough room for all of us to shine. And by shining brightly ourselves, we actually help others shine. Just a second, I'm going to have to let my dog out of the room. Hold on. Okay, sorry for that interruption. But owning my power inspires others to do the same. I am not afraid to shine. So I think that it's just so important to remember that you were blessed and born with amazing gifts and talents. And while some of those won't be the same as others, or maybe there's some gifts and talents you wished looked like more, but they aren't, you do have exactly what you were supposed to shine with in this world and in this lifetime. And I hope you will be brave enough to show up in that capacity. Well, friends, as I got further into editing my video, I realized that another portion of my first attempt at my weekly WIPS video, the voiceovers had been corrupted and I lost all of that footage. So here I am doing a voiceover for you at the end, and I apologize for this pivot that we have to make. But again, I think it's just life telling me that you're going to have pivots, Ashley, and you're going to have moments that really test you to see how you show up. So I'm just continuing to show up, and I hope that it's also encouraging you to show up in the struggle and in the moments that just give you pause. As you can see, I am taking part of that card and putting it on my paper. I just chose to use the saying, I am not afraid to shine. That's kind of what I wanted to focus on today, as I felt like a lot of our conversation came from that. And I'm just putting it into my Posh coloring book. Again, I am looking forward to making this a separate series. I feel very rushed in this process right now, and I don't want that to be the case. I want to have moments to pause and reflect on the cards that we're pulling and what really is happening to my spirit when I pull those cards, and just a moment to really create and maybe get out more supplies and not feel like I have to do it so rushed. Sometimes I will want to do it a little bit more in a shorter amount of time probably, but sometimes I'm really going to want to dive in. So I just want that freedom to do that. I want each of you to know how much I appreciate you being here. Every time you watch one of my videos or you like or comment, you are sending so much light and love to my soul, and I truly, truly appreciate you. I hope my videos in some capacity are sharing light with all of you. And as you go throughout your week this week, I would just encourage each of you to ask yourself if you are showing up in spaces that allow you to be you, that embrace you in your authenticity, that love you for everything that you are, and that make you leaving feeling like you are enough in this now moment and every moment to come. And if you are not finding those spaces, I would encourage you to find them. Feel free to set up boundaries and remove yourself from the places that don't allow you to glow your brightest. And in the week that you get to pour into your creative spirits, I hope that you are full of just so much peace and love and hope. And until the next one, I'm sending you all my love and sunshine. Bye for now.